It's almost 6 o'clock Chicago time, 7 o'clock New York time, and 4 o'clock LA time. Okay. Anyway, hello, Jenny. How are you? Hello. Roxanne. Let's see. Who else? Jorge. All right. We're getting people online now. This is Michelangelo Badio, and like I always do, we're going to do a few shout-outs. Let's see. Cynthia is online. Hello, Cynthia. Let's see. I can't read that. Hey, Denny, how are you? Alexis, how are you? Hey, Ben, what's going on? It's good to see you online. Jack, Daniel, a bunch of other people. Yeah. Hey, your guitar collection's amazing. Hey, Alexis, how are you? Hello, Roxanne, again. Hey, Brett, how are you? So, hi, Jenny. And, okay, we have a lot of people online already. Hey, Dave, what's going on? Cynthia, hello again. Hey, Joe, how are you? It's nice to see you here. Let's see, Ken, what's going on, man? Okay, a lot of great people online. And so, hey, Brett, how are you? And then I'll start with the lesson. Sorry, I have to keep up close. I've tried multiple computers, but hey, Bill, how are you? Bill Peck just showed me an amazing string skipping tapping riff that he did the other day. Anyway, so, but it's good to see you online too. Okay, this lesson is, hey, Joe, this lesson is about string skipping and surviving and finally done with work. Yeah, Ben, tell me about it. It's been crazy, hasn't it? COVID, it never ends, never. You know, it's like, I feel like what Bill Murray in that movie Groundhog Day, you wake up, oh, COVID again. You know, it's like, I got you, babe. Anyway, this has got to end soon. So, Jorge, yeah, hello, Michael. Hello, you. Hello, Jorge. Okay, anyway, hey, Jeffrey, what's up? Okay, it's time to start this lesson. One of the things that I have done throughout my entire career is employ what is known as string skipping, and it is literally what it sounds like, where you take, for example, the first string go to the third string, the second string go to the fourth. Now, I showed this riff before. Now, I'm playing it about, for me, kind of medium speed. And what I do is I go 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, 4, 6. Now, what I do in this is I use alternate picking, but there are many different ways to do string skipping patterns and riffs. And I'm going to show you several different ones. First, alternate picking. This would be the Michelangelo Badio style, the MAB style. What I usually do is I start on the first string. Now, I don't have to, but a lot of times I will. I'll find a Dorian position, and then I'll go 1, then I'll go down to 3. So it sounds like this, like this. So you can do that. And then you repeat the same. There's something, it's called a melodic sequence. And basically it's this, where you hear. In other words, you create a pattern, and then you use that and you move diatonically, and you don't have to use every single note, but it's a sequence, because what you are doing is you're repeating these notes, but you're using a certain scale or a mode conforming to that and moving within it. For example, again, if I'm doing a Dorian mode in E, then the next part would be, then and D are... That's what happens when you play in modes, because it doesn't resolve, so you can make it almost sound like anything. But what I do when I string skip, and then I repeat that. And down. Sorry, I got a little intense there. But basically... And so what happens is that you can create, especially when you repeat yourself on this. And then I'll do some really crazy ones. Like, it really will be a little, what you would call outside. In other words, you'd use chromatic tones. And so what I do is it creates this thing where it's, I did this, I released one of the jams that I came up with. We call it jam number 3. And in this, I did this really fast. 1 to 3 to the 4. And it kind of like, you start doing it, it's like watching a tennis match. Only really fast. So it's like, yes, it's really fast because I'm the guy doing it. Joey had to make an appearance. Joey wanted to do a moment of silence for Eddie Van Halen, and I said, you ain't going to do it, man, because he just wanted to go like this. And I said, And so I forced him to do that. He didn't like that. But I was a big fan of Edward Van Halen, and I did a tribute to him, but it was way before he passed away. I just loved his music, so I'm not really trying to cash in on that. You know, a lot of people are doing things, you know, let's do a tribute to Eddie because it probably get a lot of views, man. Like, people watch this stuff, man. That's not why I did it. I did it before that. But it's a tribute. It's to pay homage. I've never tried to play like Edward Van Halen. Nobody can play like him except for him. And so there's a lot of people that mimic him, but there's only one EVH. And so I just tried to do EVH in the style of MAV. And but I really enjoy doing this tribute to him. I do medleys, and I've done this ever since I was a kid. I'll take like 7 or 8 different songs from an artist, and I'll weave them in and out using my own. Jim Peterick, the guy who wrote Eye of the Tiger, I worked with him. He used to call it connecting tissue. And so what I would do is, let's use Jim Peterick's word phrase, connecting tissue. I would call them interludes. And so what I do is I create these musical interludes or connecting tissue between parts. And so, for example, I did an excerpt of it here that you can watch, and a minute-long excerpt where I do this really fast riff, then I break in to the keyboard part of Jump. And that's how I like to write. Like when it's not a mashup, because that's technically, it's not, it's a medley, and because mashups are different, but it's a medley of whatever artists I want to do, and I weave it in and out in such a way that it's musically interesting to me. Now, I don't do it the same way all the time. I did a tribute to Pantera, and I did a lot of Cowboys from Hell in the body of the song, but I used Cemetery Gates and some of my own music. Now, getting back to string skipping. So this is an alternate picking pattern. Now, if you want to go seriously in depth on this, I highly recommend going to metalmethod.com and getting my speed kills. You can buy the whole series of speed kills in one bundle. And in this, I show multiple string skipping exercises, but also my Starlicks video. And here's the next thing I want to show you. It is a diminished arpeggio. And so, and what I did is now, if anybody knows anything about diminished, it is a chord triads that are based on minor thirds. So you can do a stretch, say from 9 to 12, 12 to 15. And then you repeat this. And then so you would go 9, 12, 15, 12 on the first string, and then back down to 9. So it'd be 9, 12, 15, 12, 9. And then you go down to the 15th fret on the third string. So diminished arpeggios sound metal. I like them. And so they just sound mean. You whip into a diminished arpeggio and people are like, oh my God, it's the devil's interval. Oh no. But yes, the tritone. Why do you think Black Sabbath had... You could get hung for that. You could get the guillotine for that back in the day. You were a witch. I swear to God, I'm not a warlock. Now, here's what's really cool about this. Now, I show this on my Starlicks instructional program. It's available on metalmethod.com. I like to talk, and we have limited amount of time here to do this. I don't have charts. I don't have things in front of me. It's live. But go and get these programs, the Speed Kill series and the Starlicks instructional program. There are multiple examples of string skipping arpeggios. This diminished one is in the Starlicks video. Now you can take it another octave down, so you can go... Then when you move it down, you move it down to the 17th fret, 13th fret, and 10th fret of the 5th string. So you can go... So you have really quite a stretch, and it's one of the things that is great with string skipping is that if you work on string skipping and you play it slow and methodical, and you practice it and you play it right. For example, these are alternate picking. Don't do it legato. Don't do it economy picking. Focus on alternate picking. Focus on what you have to do. I get a lot of questions because I've been in music a long time, and I've had such a great career, and I'm busier now than I'm almost ever been. I mean, I wake up in the morning going, thank you, because today is not promised to anyone. Today's not promised to you. It's not promised to me. And so, and tomorrow's sure not promised to us. So I wake up every day and I go, man, I'm in music. I play guitar. I've got a beautiful house. I've got guitars. I've gotten to travel to 58 countries. I get to talk to you all because of playing a guitar. I mean, how cool is that? And, that's why one of the things, if you notice on my pages, I do not allow toxic writing. And because, we're in an environment now where it's so toxic online. It's so toxic. And I don't treat people like that. Like when I was growing up, we just didn't grow up in this environment. My family, my dad, my mom, my sister, we never even kidded around talking about each other like, oh, you're stupid, you're this. We never said anything like that. Now, I'm not saying this is normal, and I'm not saying that this isn't, if you have a good friend, you can say things like that. But I never did it. I never grew up. I could never tell another person, oh, you're stupid, oh, you're this, you're ugly, oh, you're this, you're that, oh, you suck, because I wasn't brought up that way. And so if you go to my page and you think you can get away with this stuff, well, maybe you can talk about it now while I'm online, but I'm going to see it and you're going to get banned, period. There's no second chances on my page. I like civility. I treat people good. I don't criticize. You know, I'm not a politician. I don't preach to you about religion. I'm just here to help you play guitar better. And so that's why when I talk about my other instructional programs, these are here to help you. I've got 13 phenomenal instructional programs. It's enough to last you the rest of your life. And I want to make more! And I've got a really good idea for a new one. But getting back to this diminished arpeggio, you can do it strings 1, 3, and 5. Yes. And so I show this on my Starlix program, and I go about it in depth. You can see the tab. I highly recommend it. That program alone can keep you working for a year, literally, or more. Now, I want to show another kind of string skipping technique. Also, I'm with Sawtooth Guitars, and people ask me, well, what happened to your former company with this? The owner of that former company died. That's very simple. We were very close. He died 3 years ago already. It's going to be 4 years in February next year. With that, like anything, if a band member changes, or when Bill Gates left Microsoft, or Steve Jobs left Apple, it's a different company. And so I had met the people from Sawtooth because they own a music store called Go DPS Music. And I met them many years ago, and I just loved the people and the way they do business and just everything about it. It's so forward. If you had 2 words to describe Sawtooth Guitars, Sawtooth everything, basses, drums, keyboards, amplifiers, there's 2 words that sum up everything about the people that I work with now. Forward thinking. They don't think in the past. They think in the present and the future, and they're amazing. And so that's why we've started a whole new signature series. I am using what's called the STM24 Satin Black. I love this guitar. Look at that, man. This is bad. Satin Black is mean. This is in the $250 price range. It's the most reasonably priced of my new line of signature guitars, of which there are many. I'm going to play with my 7-string a little later. Now, I want to show you, but I am playing a guitar. This is the prototype. The production model is actually better, and they're available right now, $250. Now, I want to show you another string skipping idea that I put on the original Speed Kills. Again, the Speed Kills programs, metalmethod.com, my Starlix video, metalmethod.com. You will find a wealth of information and a lot of string skipping ideas, because that's what you really want to do. You want to get the idea and you practice it slow. And what I was saying is earlier, I didn't finish this, when you practice slow and you practice methodically, what you find, because when you're doing this, 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, 4, 6. When you start working on that, hey Heather, how are you? And so when you go, and when you practice, you have to practice with a purpose. This is a strict alternate picking, string skipping exercise. So that means don't deviate from this. Don't make a mistake. Perfection is not the goal, but you want to set the bar high. And so when you play this and you start to get it down, what happens is the not string skipping rest, they become really easy. In other words, when you do something that's hard and you start to master it, the things that were easier for you become even easier and become better. You know, it's like you're only as good as your weakest link. So you practice these exercises and all of a sudden they become part of your musical vocabulary. I know, like when I... Now I'm going to back it up a little bit so you can see what I can do. Now watch. Instead of just going... Now, what did I just do? A lot. I actually went from the 6th string to the 5th. 6 to 4, 6 to 3, 6 to 2, and I jumped all the way from 6 to 1. Just going, just goofing around. And so these are the things that I'm capable of because I sit and practice with a purpose. You know, and one of the biggest questions I had, I didn't answer this either. I'm kind of like, you know, I'm jumping all around here because, you know, I see so many people and so many questions online, and I'm trying to accommodate everything for you. But that's, that's one of the reasons to get my instructional programs. It's laser-guided, focused on the task at hand. And so you can see that the production is first rate. And so you really get a clear, concise picture. And you can see, you know, up close, fast, slow. It's such a great way to learn, and it's probably, and the production at metal method is, you know, it's first class. I mean, it's top. And so I can't say enough about, you know, working with Doug Marks and metal method. But one of the things that people have said, well, Michael, you know, what about carpal tunnel? What about injuries? And I know that's a whole other program, and I've talked about it before, but let me tell you a few things that I do. My body is made for guitar. I started at 10 years old. Did you see that picture where my hair is like in a bouffant with the little Superman curl in it? I like that curl. That took me a long time to get that curl. No, it took me a long time because I was combing that mop of hair. You got a big mop of hair, Mike, and it took me a long time to comb that. See, Joey, because I'm left-handed, and I was like combing it back. I'm combing my hair back, you know, and like getting my ears like nice and exposed, and then I had it like bouffant high. So I was like, okay, it's high enough. But then I needed that curl. I needed like, yes, I'm Superman. What are you going to do about it? I needed that little S thing going on. Look at the picture. It's hysterical. I got it perfect. And then I was like, Mom! She's like, what, Micah? She'd never call me Michael. She's like, what, Mike? And I said, Mom, I need some hairspray. And she's like, for what? I go, look at my hair. I said, I need this S. I sprayed that thing. I swear to God, a concrete slab could have landed on my head and it would have just bounced off. My hair was rocking and it was like perfect. And, but I've always been into hair. And so, even when I was a kid, like I had to have it perfect, but that S thing, that took a while to do, but I did it. And then because we were doing stuff like, we were doing like Outer Limits. My sister played drums on. No, we were doing Pipeline. But I liked Outer Limits too. And underneath. I love that song. Just going. You know, I love it. It's almost like, you know, when you do Smoke on the Water and you add the bass. Hey, Michael, can you play Smoke on the Water? Well, I don't know. Let's see. I'm at Martha's Vineyards in Massachusetts, and we were sipping champagne and having caviar. So, but let me see if there's a $27,000 guitar
on a stand over in the corner of this establishment. Oh, yes, there is.
Yes, I can play Smoke on the Water! Listen to how perfectly in tune that is. That's a $250 guitar. I know what I'm doing when I work on guitars. Now, back to string skipping. I had to digress for a little bit. Why? Because, okay, I'm going to say it. I'm a Gemini. So half of me is super business. Like my mind is like laser focused. I could have been an attorney. The other half is the artist that invents double guitars and quad guitars and does this and has Joey whacked. So I have all these things. So in my brain, there's a lot of stuff going on. Now, let's get back to the string skipping lesson. This is, I want to say, I'll just give credit where credit's due. It's a Paul Gilbert style. And I showed this on my Speed Kills instructional program. See, you don't always have to alternate pick. Have to do that all the time. You can do this. It's a really cool riff. Now, I showed this on my original Speed Kills program. Again, it's part of the Speed Kills. You can buy the entire series from Metal Method, but it starts like this. It's an A major arpeggio shape. And this is what happened when I was writing tribute to Randy, doing the like... This is how I ended up using that in this song, because when I was working on Tribute to Randy, this is a really happy progression. It's like this, happy. I'm happy. Now, I mean, what singer could sing over this? Like if I came up to you and I said, okay, I've got a new riff. Most people go, that's not metal. What is this? That's a happy riff. I'm happy. I'm happy. Or you could do a death metal. I'm happy. I mean, what part of that is metal? Nothing. It's a 1-5-4 chord over, so 1-5-4 over A. It's happy, 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 happy. I mean, and then I thought to myself, how can I make this cool? Only the Prince of Darkness, only Ozzy could make that cool. It's like, he's the Prince of Darkness. Only he could make happy, 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 happy. Only he could make that rock. Because say you never heard this, which is one of the meanest riffs ever. Let's just say you heard this. What would you do with it? What can you do to make that metal? Nothing! Only Ozzy could do that. And so here's what happened. I started going like this. It sounded like Mary Had a Little Lamb. It sounded like a nursery rhyme. I mean, I could not walk up on stage. Michelangelo Badio, the shred god, go... No way! And so I got mad. I'm like, this sucks. I tried flanging it. I tried phasing it. I tried delaying it. Then I muted it and I said, this sucks. Then I went to my piano, which is right over here, and I started going, why can't I come up with an idea for this? And so what I did is I played an A bass ball, and then I played the A arpeggio, E arpeggio, and D arpeggio. Very simple. And I go, that's it. And here's the point to all this. So what I did, I'm playing so much, I'm thinking happy, happy, happy. I'm not even playing the riff. What I did was I used my own exercise. And I said, instead of playing a melody, like when Ozzy sings it, it's so cool. Look, I love Ozzy Osbourne. I'm not cutting it down or criticizing it. I'm saying just picture somebody that wasn't Ozzy writing something. You know, you're queen of the ride. I'm queen of the ride. I mean, what do you do? 6, 6, 6, the number of the beast. I mean, what do you do with this? Only Ozzy could have figured that one out. And so what I did was I said, that's it. Instead of playing the melody, arpeggiate it, meaning take those chords and play them. An arpeggio is a broken chord, meaning. So you outline the chords rather than going. You know, it'd be like this, like. You know, only a great writer could come up with like come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me. I mean, it takes a great writer. Anybody can come up with a simple progression. What do you put over the top? I mean, you go, oh baby, I think your love. I love you. I love you. I mean, you can just do crazy stuff. But so I said, I cannot play, I can't sing like crazy, that's how it goes. Millions of people, only Ozzy could sing it and make it cool. Only him. Nobody could have made that cooler than Ozzy did it. But I can't go. I mean, it's like, no, I'm not going to play it this way. I can't do it. I couldn't do it. But what I did is I arpeggiated, and here's the string skipping arpeggio. It is a string skipping arpeggio. I show this in the original Speed Kills. Get Speed Kills. Get the set. Get the Stylix program. Speed Kills works. It's worked for a long time. It will work for 100 years from now. It's that good. And the methodology is sound, and it's based on techniques that are centuries old. You know, I've said it 1,000 times. You know, my degree in music has really helped me because you can't make talent from a degree. But the degree in music gave me the ability to learn. And I'm always a student about this. And so what I tell you has stood the test of time because these are things that I've used in my entire career. I've never had a hand injury ever. You know, and people ask, what do you do for carpal tunnel? Let me show you one of the things I do. Do you notice my arm is close to my body? When you grow up like me playing a guitar, my body is made for playing guitar. I started at 10 years old. So from the shoulder strap to the way I sit to the way I walk, everything has been, my body has been grown around playing guitar. And here's the thing that I notice. Guitar players that have played a long time, going this way is really uncomfortable. Your arms are not made to do things like this. It's like when you do exercises at the gym, or it really helps this muscle here, your shoulder muscle, to get that really cool cut in your arm, which when back in the day, I had a good cut, but I did exercises like this that circumvented me having to rotate my arms in an absolutely unnatural and uncomfortable position. And so what I do is I keep my arms close to my body. If you've ever noticed when I lift the double guitar, I lift the double guitar like this. I anchor my elbows against my body, and I use my body to lift that guitar and be able to play it at the same time. See, I do things that are ergonomic. It's like an ergonomic keyboard. I do things to make it easier for me. That's why I don't wake up in the morning with joint pain and all this. I know my body, but I also know I'm a guitar player and I have a guitar playing body. That's completely different. So what I do is I keep my arms closed. This arm likes to move outward like this. This arm, Joey, likes to be like this. So I use that. And so this is natural, but I keep this arm closed. See, when you do things like this and you move your arm out too far, it develops problems in your shoulders. I don't have that. I don't have any of this stuff because I'm very careful about exactly how I play. Now, when I do this string skipping arpeggio, it's more of a legato hammer and pull style. You start on the 4th string, 6 and 7. Then you go 6 to 9 on the 3rd string. So it's 4 to 3. And then you start on your 1st string and you go 5, 9, 5, and you pull it off. And then you pull, and then you go back down to the 3rd string, 9th fret. So it sounds like this. Like this. Now the cool thing about this, and this is what I did in Crazy Train in my tribute to Randy. I like that progression, I really do, but it's just not metal. I mean, if you've never heard Ozzy sing it, ask yourself, what would you do? I don't know. I don't know what I do. I would do what I did. I wouldn't be able to find a melody that I thought was cool because it's so major, it's so diatonic. And what I mean by that, it's so... And so instead of going back down now, I did. So I played an A major, then E major, then D major. So what I did is I outlined the triads. This is in the original Speed Kills. That's another way to play string skipping arpeggios. And I'm going to show you a third way. And this is Bill Peck, a really close friend of mine. He was the one who introduced me to Mark Tremonti from Creed and Alter Bridge. Now this is a string skipping arpeggio. So now you have legato, you have alternate picking, but you can do tapping. Watch. You have an E minor shape. It's actually E minor 7th. Now watch this. Oh, before I do that, I want to show you the minor counterpart to this. There's a minor shape to that, and I showed this on Speed Kills too. So you learn a lot of different shapes on these programs. String skipping is an integral part of what I do. And I use all these different things in my playing all the time. Not every single song, but they are part of the arsenal that I use to draw upon when I'm playing solos and working out parts of songs. Now, this string skipping tapped arpeggio is really cool. Say it, you're in E minor. Figaro, Figaro. And so what you can do on here is this. I like to do it reverse, like I like to, instead of, I think it's cool, like, maybe it's a little Eddie Van Halen in me because he's been in my life for so long. I mean, wow, it's just a shame, you know, it hit me really hard. when he passed away. I said this in my online eulogy to him. I'll have to admit, I was a fan of Michael Jackson, but it didn't hit me hard when he died. And I was a fan of David Bowie and, a lot of great musicians that have passed away. But I respect them and I like them and I admired them, but it didn't hit me hard. John Lennon, when he died, that hit me super hard. It was like, I have heard Beatles songs since I was a boy. So, I mean, everything from... You're gonna lose that girl. Yes, you're gonna lose that girl. To I've just seen a face. I can't forget the time or place where we just met. I've heard these songs my entire life. Like, I mean, they're just a part of me. And it's the same thing with Van Halen because, we're not that different in age. And when Van Halen's first album came out, from that point on, I learned Ain't Talking About Love. And we did it in covers bands from that point on. So I've known Van Halen since Van Halen 1 came out. And I also talked to Ted Templeman, who was their producer. He almost signed my band and Michelangelo band before Nitro. And I talked to him at length, and he said he thought my guitar playing was amazing. He loved it. But he didn't like the band. He just didn't like our band enough. And when I got a Nitro, everybody wanted to sign us because really it was whatever you think about the Michelangelo band, if you know about us and Nitro versus Personnel Singer, the labels were very receptive to Jim Gillette and I being together as a duo. They thought Jim was a true rock star. He was great. He was young, super young. And he had this writing ability and, writing songs like Freight Train and together. But it was so, I've known about Van Halen's music so long that it's like you lose something that's been a part of you. It's all, it's like losing a family member. Not, I'm not getting weird about it. I met Eddie Van Halen before, but I've also met his son Wolf, several times and talked to him. And so, but the music is so much a part of you that, when you lose the person that created that, it's just a crazy thing. But, so don't think that I just posted this Eddie Van Halen EVH tribute just to capitalize on it. I didn't. I did it way before he passed away because I enjoyed his music. Now, getting back to the string skipping thing, this is a string skipping tapped arpeggio. And again, there's a major and minor counterpoint. And I show this on another. I have Speed Kills 1, the original, Speed Kills 2, Speed Kills 3. Get those. They're in a bundle. And you're going to find numerous examples of string skipping things. So here it is. So I tap on the 14th fret, 5th string, to the 7th fret, 5th string, and hammer on to the 10th fret. So I create the triad of E minor. Then I jump to the 3rd string from the 5th string, and I tap on the 12th fret, pull off to the 7th fret, hammer on to the 9th. And then you move to the 1st string. So you're doing strings 5, 3, and 1. Then so it's 12, pull off to 7, then hammer on to 10 on the 1st string. So you have this. Pretty killer lick. And I use this a lot in some of the Shred collabs. And so now you can also do a major version of this. So and so what you do is instead of using the 10th fret, you use the 11th fret. So and then you can create a lot of different things from it. But I'm giving you the idea musical people will expound upon it and make it their own. So you do. Then on the third string, instead of the 12th fret, that's minor third, you do the 13th fret, that's G sharp. That's a major third. This is kind of really an E major 7th arpeggio because you're using that major 7th, but it functions as an E major because it flies by so fast. You're not really so much hearing. You can hear what? Now, if I wanted to make it E7, I just flat the 7th. So there's all sorts of things you can do. Again, this is on my one of the Speed Kills programs. And so, okay, can you play No Boundaries? Somebody asked me that. Yeah, I played a lot. Go to my YouTube page and you can see a lot of different playthroughs. I just did a recent one with one of my new signature series. So anyway, I've showed you several different examples, also giving you the world according to Michael, which is what I normally do. But I want to talk a little bit about what's going on. I'm doing a really cool shred collab with a major young artist. I don't want to say who it is yet, but you're going to be seeing it soon. Go to my YouTube page. You can watch the EVH tribute in full. You can see it here on Facebook. And also get my Speed Kills programs and get the Starlicks program. Speed Kills works. These are great, and you can buy the whole series together. I've got, like I said, I've got 13 instructional programs. They're all available at metalmethod.com. Now, I am using the black this guitar is great. It's the ST-M24 satin black. It is the it's not an entry-level guitar. It's the entry level as far as price. This is in the $250 price range. Now I'm going to switch guitars, and I'm going to play the brand new 7th string that I've got. Okay. Now, this is the HM724. This is the new 7th string guitar that we came up with. You know, there's a lot of talk about different scale lengths. And what I wanted, and a lot of it has to do with feel. You know, when you have fan frets, it feels better on the upper strings. You know, that's frets that expand like this. It feels better on the lower strings. You know, there's all sorts of things, you know, true temper tuning. Well, I have, you know, where they say that this guitar, you know, the frets are staggered. Steve Vai has guitars like... one thing about our tonal system, it's called well-tempered. Now, Bach wrote the well-tempered clavier. Now, when I was at the university, I was told that Bach wrote this to show the why well-tempered is better than other systems of tuning. There's mean tone tuning. See, there are other systems of tuning where everything is mathematically perfect, but the farther you go away from perfection, you can't play in every key. Whereas well-tempered, our actual tonal system is slightly out of tune. They detune certain notes to accommodate every key. So if I go... every single key sounds in tune, but actually mathematically, certain notes are not in tune, but it's imperceptible to our ear. So when somebody said, you know, this is, you know, perfect temper tuning, there's no such thing. So it's impossible. And so, you know, what they really mean is it's more pleasing to the ear, possibly. You know, when you hear, and everything's in tune. Here, that's a perfect fourth. That's an interval called a perfect fourth, or a perfect fifth. See, what happens without well-tempered tuning is that the farther you get away from perfection, you can only play in a couple of keys. This perfect fourth becomes this. So that's why we use well-tempered. We said, let's detune slightly a few notes, and we can play in every key where it's imperceptible to the ear that it's actually out of tune. So when somebody says, oh, this tempered tuning is perfect, I'm sure it sounds good. Okay, I'm not saying it's bad. It sounds good, but it's not perfect because our tonal system isn't perfect. So, you know, the whole idea is negated by the fact that we're in well-tempered tuning. Okay, so I'm going to play my 7-string, and this guitar is amazing. A lot of, you know, I talked about when I did a 7-string example of this in one of the other lessons. That's actually my song called The Badlands, but I took this string and detuned it another whole step so it's in drop B tuning. It's me! I love the sevens because they're lower than go. But the reason I love this guitar so much is that, you know, I have developed 7-string guitars before, but never have I gotten one that I actually love to play it so much. We use a smaller scale length because, see, really, the tuning is there's two things that you need to think about. One, are you in tune? And two, how does it feel when you're playing? You know, does it feel like stiff? And see, with 7 strings, that's why people went to these extreme lengths, literally scale lengths, you know, fan frets, all this stuff. I like fan frets, I do, but there's one really huge drawback. If you're going to play some really serious jazz chords, like a minor 11th, you're going to be hard-pressed to play because these fans are fanning out, and you've got to do this mondo stretch to begin with. And so like a minor 11th, you're literally stretching like from the 5th to the 10th fret here, but what happens when you're on G? And you've got to do this, like you can hear. So you can hear that I'm playing it perfectly, but if you've got, and I've got big hands, but if you've got this massive fret alignment, you know, where it's like wider, 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 you're like, you know, you're thinking more about, can I play this than are you playing it? And so we solved that problem. We're using, if you're used to a slash style guitar, that's the scale length. It's a smaller scale length. And for a person with me with big hands, I absolutely love it. And also, we use Fishman Fluence pickups. This is passive and active. This passive sound. And if I want to make it like just sounds mean. You know, you can play Lamb of God. It just sounds vicious, but what I love about it is this passive neck position. You get this. If you've listened, I have a very expressive vibrato. It just gets it. Especially this. It just sings. And so we have solved the two problems that people have when they play sevens. One, it's super easy to play. The frets are really easy to reach. You can be in a Guns N' Roses tribute band and use a 7-string and sound like death. Sweet child of mine, she's got eyes of the bluest sea. We've been dancing with Mr. Brown Star. So you can play this and feel comfortable that it's not a leap of faith. Meaning, we say this, I mean this, 7-string is very logical. The string moves down a fourth, or if you drop B instead of a drop D, you're really dropping A, B to A. And so, but it's a very logical progression from the 1st to the 6th to the 7th. So if you have never played a 7-string, I'm telling you, this is the guitar to get. And also, you never need batteries. Do you see this? Look at that little thing right there. Okay, whip, right there. That is a mini USB. You can either plug it into your computer, plug it into the wall. A charge of a couple hours lasts hundreds of hours on these batteries because this is an active system that is also passive. So basically, it's kind of like having an electric car and a petroleum car. And so you have both, and both are equally as good. It's really an amazing instrument. Plus, we use the top-of-the-line Floyd Rose that you can get for a 7-string. Now, this is not saying this is the #1 Floyd Rose. The #1 Floyd Rose and the second to the top are almost identical. They don't make the German-made Floyd Rose. They just don't make it. So these are the same parts, the same metal, but it's made in Korea, and it's the only 7-string Floyd Rose you can get. It's the top-of-the-line 7-string guitar, bridge, and Floyd Rose, and it's amazing. I've used these in my old signature guitars forever. Sawtooth just happens to use, when available, the top-of-the-line German one. This is an incredible guitar. And so when you hear this, the upper register, it just sounds sweet. It sings. Now, I used my neck position here, but I used the bridge position here. And then you get this low that's just death. The reason I brought this out, not just to tell you about it, but it ships in about a month. So this will be available everywhere, but it's just, and also it's neck through. It's a neck through design. So, and I will tell you this, Sawtooth is known for the best quality guitars and the best price point. You will not find another 7-string that is in this price range for this features. The only ones that can even be comparable to this are hundreds of dollars more. You are going to save a lot of money getting a guitar like this. You are going to get the highest quality parts, and they even beveled the inside. You can see it here. Do you see that? Do you see how the neck joint is? You can see that angle there. So it's ease to get to the 24th fret. So you've got an active passive guitar. You've got a guitar that has solved tuning and playability issues. You've got the best Floyd Rose you can put on a 7-string guitar, Grover tuning keys, and you don't even have to buy batteries. You just plug it into the wall, let it charge. But we're talking like you could use this thing literally 5 months without a charge, literally 200 hours. Now, you know, depending on how much you play, so I won't say 5 months, 200 plus hours. But anyway, now to end on this, go to my YouTube channel if you want to see a bunch of my playthroughs. Go to metalmethod.com. Sawtooth's website is sawtoothworld.com. All my new signature guitars are starting to come out now. This is absolutely my favorite 7-string I've ever played. It sounds amazing. It's so easy to play because the scale length is shorter and it just feels comfortable. The string tension feels like a 6-string, and the sound, I mean, it's so thick. Because it's a neck-through design. You just can't find this in this price point. So anyway, I'd like to say this. I'm Michelangelo Badio on behalf of Sawtooth Guitars, Sawtooth Amps, Chromacast Music Products, and also Go DPS Music, and my new album on Rat Pack Records, More Machine Than Man. Vintage Guitar Magazine gave it an incredible review, and I just did a really cool video for their magazine. It should be out soon, doing a playthrough, an excerpt of one of my songs called AVTD. But anyway, I just want to say thanks each and every one of you for tuning in each week. I enjoy every second of it. So do I. I've kept Joey quiet today because these lessons are important. I want to help you learn. And the best way you can learn is, you've heard me give the overview. Go to metalmethod.com, get the Speak Hill series, and get the Starlicks video. That is the very first shred video. It's amazing. Anyway, see ya.